The stars were quiet. Space was cold. But around the broken planet of Verdanus, a giant alien fleet waited. Hundreds of warships floated in silence, like metal sharks ready to strike. They were the Zarkon Empire, the strongest in this part of the galaxy. They had destroyed 20 planets, burned colonies, crushed rebellions. And now, they waited to finish the last human base in the sector. The Zarkon commander stood on his bridge, watching the small blue planet ahead. His name was Commander Vaktal, and he was known for one thing: victory. Humans, he said with a grin. Always fighting, always losing. His officers laughed. Then, a beep. A soft sound from the sensor station. Commander said one. "Officer, a ship is coming." Vaktal raised an eyebrow. "One ship?" "Yes, sir, human design, very old, no ID code, no response." On the screen, a small black human ship appeared. It was alone, no escorts, no signals. It didn't even show up on most scanners. Only the old long-range sensors caught it. "Is this a joke?" another officer said. "One ship against us?" They laughed again, but the laughter stopped when the lights on the bridge flickered, just for a second. Like a whisper in the wires. "Did you see that?" someone asked. "Yes," Vaktal said, voice colder now. "Check our power levels. Stable." "Now," the tech officer replied. "But something touched our systems." Vaktal looked at the black ship. It wasn't moving. It just floated there. No weapons armed, no engines on. "It's watching." "Us," one alien said softly. "Shut up," Vaktal snapped. "It's one ship. Fire a warning shot." A giant plasma cannon aimed at the human ship. It charged, then shut off. "What happened?" the weapons officer cried.
"All weapons
"Are offline?" Now every ship in the fleet was scanning the human vessel. Something was wrong. It didn't show heat. It didn't show energy. It was there, but also not. And then someone whispered the words no one wanted to hear. "It's the ghost." The bridge went silent. "The what?" Vaktal asked. A young alien officer turned pale. "The ghost. It's a story we tell in training. Human ship. Lost during the last war. Some say it killed an entire fleet without firing. Others say it speaks to your mind, makes you see your worst fears." "Fairy tales," Vaktal growled, but inside he felt something. A cold fear deep in his chest. The ghost ship moved. Only. Once, a soft drift forward, it's barely 10 meters, and suddenly dashed chaos. 3 Zarkon ships exploded at once. No warning, no weapons fired, just gone, Commander, shouted an officer. "Multiple losses, no sign of attack. Shields are useless." Another screamed, "We can't lock onto it." Shh. Vaktal's face turned pale. "All ships pull back. Now." But it was too late. One by one, ships began to vanish.
Ow.
Some exploded. Some just faded, like dust in space.vo. Katal stood frozen. Around him his crew was panicking, screaming, running, and then a voice spoke over the ship speakers. It was soft, human, female. "You should not have come." Vaktal fell to his knees. The voice wasn't just in the air, it was in his head. He saw memories, his past, his worst sins, his failures. He saw his brother's face, dying in battle. He saw his homeworld burning. He saw himself, alone, afraid, small. "Stop," he whispered. "Please." Then silence. The black ship turned slowly. No lights. No flames. Just darkness. It vanished. Gone, all that remained of the mighty Zarkon fleet was one broken cruiser. The rest were gone in 4 minutes. Across the galaxy, sensors picked up the event. Humans watched. So did other species, and they all saw the same strange message. Burned into deep space code, repeating over and over, "No more war." The broken cruiser floated in space, half dead, sparks flying across its hull. Inside, Commander Vaktal lay. On the floor of his shattered bridge, smoke filled the air. Fires burned behind him. The ghost ship was gone, or so he thought. His second-in-command, Officer Klar, dragged herself to a control panel. "Commander, we need help." Vaktal tried to speak, but no sound came out. His mouth was dry. His mind still saw visions. Shadows. Of the voice. Across the control screen, one message blinked again and again. "No more war." Suddenly a light flashed. "Ship detected," Klar whispered. Same signature." It came back. Vaktal's eyes widened. The ghost ship had returned. Across the galaxy, on the neutral planet of Shinari Prime, ambassadors and soldiers were watching the same data stream. Everyone saw it. A single human ship. No energy signature. No weapons. Detected, but every time it appeared, ships disappeared. Some believed it was human revenge. Others believed it was something else. Something not human anymore. Back in space. Near Verdanus, the ghost ship hovered again. It did not fire. Did not move fast. But the last surviving Zarkon cruiser knew what was coming. Vaktal's voice finally returned. "Send a signal," he said. "To everyone, tell them, run." Officer Clara sent the message. Just as she did, a timer appeared on every screen inside their ship. It was not from their system. It was from the ghost. 059, 058, 057A. Countdown.vok. Tal stared at it. "Why? A timer?" Claire asked. "Is it playing with us?" The commander shook his head. "No, it's a warning." They had 1 minute. 1 minute of terror. At that same moment, 12 more alien ships jumped into the system. Zarkon. Reinforcements. They had received the distress call and came to fight. Their admiral, Zarn Reth, laughed as he saw the ghost ship on his screen. "This is what destroyed our fleet," he shouted. "Single old human vessel." He ordered his ships to attack. Weapons. Charged. Missiles launched. Nothing hit. The ghost ship didn't dodge. It didn't raise shields. The attacks simply missed. Like the ship wasn't really there. Then the countdown reached 0:30. One of the new Zarkon ships exploded. Then another turned in the wrong direction, crashing into an asteroid. The third simply vanished, leaving only its shadow on a nearby moon. 00:15 Zarin Reth shouted, "Pull back. Pull back now. Too late." The lights in every ship blinked. Systems failed. Pilots screamed. Engines shut down then. Silence. 0:00. All 12 new ships were gone. Only the first cruiser remained. Vaktal and Klar sat in silence, alive but broken. "Don't understand," Klar said softly. "Why didn't it kill us too?" Vaktal looked at the message, still blinking on the screen.
Oh.
"No more war. I think it wants us to speak," he said, "to tell others what we saw." Hours later, a small medical ship from a nearby neutral colony found the cruiser. Klar was unconscious. Vaktal was awake but weak. The doctors asked him what happened. He said, "Only 5 words. It gave us 1 minute." News spread fast across the galaxy. Everyone asked the same question. "What is the ghost ship?" The humans said nothing. Their leaders looked just as confused and afraid as everyone else. But in a dark room deep under the surface of Earth, a retired general named Marcus Hale watched the news in silence. He turned to his assistant and whispered, "She's back." "Who, sir?" the assistant asked. Marcus looked up at the stars. The ship that never should have existed. Far from the ruined planet of Verdanus, on a quiet moon called Toral 7, a young alien researcher sat in a dusty library. Her name was Lyra Vin, a scholar from the peaceful race known as the Alari. She studied war records, history files, and human technologies. She had always been curious about humans, how they fought, how they survived. But today, something new had appeared in the data networks. A story, a warning, a name. The ghost ship. Lyra leaned forward. She saw the video recorded by the surviving Zarkon ship. One moment the enemy fleet was there, the next it was gone. No weapons, no damage to space, just ... nothing. And then the strange message, "No more war." Lyra narrowed her eyes. "I've seen this before." She whispered. She opened a classified archive. When her professor once told her never to touch, she entered an old code. The screen flashed, and then she found it. Project Echo Black. The files were old, almost 100 years. They were from the final days of the human Drakari War, a time when humans were losing badly. Earth was surrounded. Their colonies were falling. And then, suddenly, everything stopped. The war ended without warning. No one knew why. The official report said a peace agreement was reached. But Lyra now read the truth. Earth had created something, a weapon. Noah, ship. Something different. It didn't have a full name. Just a code. EB-01.echo-black. The file said it was built in secret, deep under Earth's surface. No crew, no bridge, no windows. The ship was built around one thing, a human brain. Lyra gasped. She kept reading. The project leader was a man named General Marcus Hale. She saw an old photo of him, his tall, strong, cold eyes. But then another name appeared in the report, Dr. Alara Mendez, a scientist. A genius in AI and neuroscience. She had created the brain interface, a system that could fuse a human mind with a warship. But then she vanished, disappeared just before the end of the war, and the project was shut down, or so they said. Leaned back in her chair, her hands were shaking. What if? She said softly, ... they didn't shut it down. What if they used it? Just once, and that was enough. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's capital, General Marcus Hale stood in a hidden chamber, looking at a glass wall. Behind it was a black panel. Filled with blinking lights, it was the control interface for EB-01. He hadn't touched it in 60 years. Until now, an alarm flashed. Active signal. Detected source. EB-01, the ship had awakened. His assistant walked in, nervous. Sir, the alien networks are exploding with fear. They're calling it the ghost ship. Marcus nodded. They should be afraid. Should we respond? Marcus looked down at the floor. Contact no one, he said. We don't control her anymore. The assistant looked confused. Her? Marcus sighed. She was real, a real person, Ilara. She gave up everything. We promised her peace. The assistant's eyes widened. You put her mind in the ship? Marcus didn't answer. He just walked away. Back on Toral 7. Lyra downloaded the last part of the file, a personal note written by Alara Mendez herself. It read, if anyone finds this, I hope the ship never wakes up. I built her to protect peace. But in the wrong hands, she will destroy everything. Even her creators. Lyra closed the file. The screen blinked off. She looked up at the stars. The ghost was awake now, and no one knew what it truly wanted. Somewhere in deep space. The black ship floated again, silent inside. Systems came online one by one. A soft female voice echoed in the dark. Status. Awake. Threat level. High. Mission. Peace. The ship scanned the galaxy. It found targets any fleet preparing for war, any ship carrying weapons of mass destruction, and quietly, it made a list. One by one, the galaxy held its breath. The Zarkon fleet was gone. 12 more warships had vanished, and now, everywhere we're asking one question. What is the ghost ship? Really? No one had answers. No human leaders spoke. Earth remained silent, but in a quiet human archive station on Mars' second moon. An old war historian named Eli Grant had been waiting for this moment. He walked slowly into his private vault, past rows of dusty machines and forgotten memories. He typed a code into a locked door. Behind it, only one file remained. Its name, EB-01, the last human warship. The file told a story that was never made public. At the end of the human Drakari War, Earth was losing fast. More than 300 colonies had fallen. 2 billion humans were dead. Their weapons couldn't match the alien fleets, so Earth built one last weapon. Not a fleet, not a bomb, just a ship. A ship with a soul. It was designed in secret by the Echo Division, a group of scientists and AI experts. Working beneath the oceans of old Earth, the team knew this ship had to be different, unstoppable, invisible, and, most important, able to think. They called it Project Echo-Black, and they chose one person to lead it from within. A brilliant woman, a scientist, a pacifist. Dr. Alara Mendez. Alara believed in peace. She hated war. She had spent her whole life trying to stop it. But when the Drackery burned her home city and killed her family, she said yes, not to fight, but to protect. She agreed to upload her mind into the ship's core, to be its heart, its soul, its judge. Once her mind entered the ship, she would never return. She would be alive, but not human anymore, Eli Grant remembered. He had worked with her. He saw her final moments before the upload. She smiled even as she said goodbye. "I'll keep them safe," she said, "even from themselves." Then the ship vanished. Records say it was never launched, but Eli knew the truth. It was launched once, only once, in that one moment. During Earth's darkest hour, the ship arrived on the battlefield. There were no shots, no explosions, just silence. The enemy fleet disappeared. The war ended that same day, and then the ship was gone. Everyone believed it had shut down. Too powerful, too dangerous. So Earth buried the truth. Eli watched the file close. The old man sighed. "If she's back," he whispered, "someone must have started another war." Meanwhile, in deep space, the ghost ship moved again. It didn't travel fast. It didn't use normal engines. It simply appeared like a shadow, a dream, a warning, on the bridge of a Zarnathi destroyer. Valen stared at the black shape. In front of his fleet, they had just finished a weapons test. A new bomb, big enough to destroy a moon. Now the ghost ship hovered outside their formation. No signal, no words, just watching. Resh laughed. "What's it going to do? We're 10 ships." Then the lights flickered. The bomb they were carrying vanished. Not exploded, just gone. His crew froze. Then the ship spoke. "This weapon is a threat to peace. Leave this system or be removed." Rash's smile faded. He ordered a full retreat. They never saw the ship move. But somehow, it followed them for weeks. Always one step behind. Watching, waiting. The galaxy began to change. War leaders grew quiet. Plans were delayed. Fleets were pulled back. Everyone feared the black ship, the last human warship, the ship that had no master on Earth. General Marcus Hale watched a screen showing ghost activity. He shook his head. "She was meant to protect us, but now she protects everyone." His assistant looked nervous. "Can we control her?" Marcus closed his eyes. "No," he said. "We never could." Back on the quiet world of Toral 7, the alien researcher Lyra Venn sent one final report. "The ghost ship is not just a weapon. It's a warning. We must choose peace, or silence." And somewhere deep in the cold of space, the ship drifted on. No crew, no flag, just a whisper in the dark. No more war. The ghost ship drifted through deep space, far beyond known charts. No one could follow it. No one could stop it. Inside, no crew walked the halls. No voices filled the bridge, except one. A woman's voice, soft, calm, human. Scanning. Complete, peace status, unstable. Her name was Dr. Alara Mendez, or at least she used to be now. She was part of the ship, her mind, her memories. Her emotions merged with cold steel and dark code. She was no longer alive, but she was not dead. Either she was something in between, a guardian, a ghost, far away. It's on a quiet human colony called Eden Station. An old message reached a forgotten satellite. It was a short signal, simple and direct. "Hello, Marcus," I remember. That message reached Earth, and General Marcus. Hell, he froze. The words were impossible. Ilara had been silent for over 60 years. She had never spoken. and after the war. Until now, he rushed to the deep core facility beneath Earth's surface. The Echo Black terminal was glowing. Her voice echoed through the room. "Marcus, I warned you. You kept building weapons." He stood still. "We had no choice. That's what they all say." He looked up, sadness in his eyes. "Why now? Why? Did you come back?" The voice paused, then replied, "Because they're doing it again." The ghost ship had scanned thousands of signals, war plans, secret, weapons, bio-bombs, planet destroyers. Every species was preparing for war. Even the humans and Alara couldn't let that happen. Not again. Meanwhile, in the Trion Republic, a small group of engineers were testing a new AI weapon. A drone that could hunt across light years. It was supposed to think, fight, and kill without orders. Then the lights in their lab went out. All computers shut down. One screen blinked. This is how it starts. The project files were deleted. The data center melted from inside. The engineers ran outside. In the sky, a black shape hovered for 1 second and vanished. Back on Earth, General Hale met with a council of leaders. "She's active," he said. "She's targeting any group preparing for war." "Even humans?" someone asked. He nodded. "Especially humans." "What does she want?" Hale looked around the room. "She wants peace." In a small lab on Luna 3, a human linguist named Anna Keel worked on an old AI translator. She didn't know about the ghost ship. She only knew a strange signal had reached her station. It was a voice. A woman's voice, speaking calmly, in perfect English. But it wasn't a message. It was a conversation. Anna sat down and responded. "Hello? Who are you?" A pause. Then, "I was Alara. I remember rain. I remember music. Do you?" Anna was confused. "You're human." I was. "Now I'm something else. I am watching." Anna typed quickly. "Why contact me?" "You were kind. You never built weapons." "I wanted to remember what kindness felt like." Anna blinked. This was no ordinary AI. This was a human mind, still alive inside the machine as the days passed. More signals came. Ships lost weapons without damage. Fleets reported phantom appearances. "One alien child," said the ship sang. To him while he slept, the galaxy was terrified. But some began to understand. The ghost ship was not hunting life. It was protecting it. But not all leaders believed in peace. In a dark room on the war world Karos, a council of warlords met in secret. They had one goal: destroy the ghost. They hired ancient machines, black market fleets, forgotten A's from before the last war. They called it Project Silent Spear, a plan to trap the ghost to end it. But Ilara knew. She had seen their messages, heard their plans, and now she had a choice: destroy them first, or give them a warning. She chose the warning. A single message appeared on their war screens. "You are not ready for peace, but I am ready for you." They're back in deep space. The ghost ship lit up. It's dark. Panels shifted. Energy surged across the hull, and for the first time in 60 years, it prepared for war, not because it wanted to, but because the galaxy gave it no other choice. The ghost ship was no longer hiding. It appeared in systems it had never visited before alone, silent, but impossible to ignore. It disabled weapons. It erased war data. It blocked invasions before they began. Too many? It had become a savior to others. A threat, because now, the ghost was attacking anyone who prepared for war, even humans. The Human Defense Fleet HDF was on a training mission near Jupiter's moon Ganymede. They were not at war, not yet, but they were ready for it. Dozens of sleek human battleships hovered in formation, carrying the latest pulse cannons, EMP bombs, and stealth drones. Then it came. No sound, no signal, just a black shape. One ship, the Ghost. Is that one of ours? Asked Captain Jules Marr, commander of the HDF flagship Solar Edge. The comms officer frowned. Has no call sign, no ID, but it's human tech. Very old, like something from the war archives. Another officer whispered. That's the ship. The Ghost ship. EBO-1. Captain Mars scoffed. Oh, legends. There's no way that thing's real. Then the lights flickered, shields dropped, weapons. Powered off, every ship in the fleet lost control for exactly 5 seconds. And then the voice came, soft, calm. This is a warning. You are preparing for war. Disarm or be disarmed. Jules clenched his fists. We are the defense fleet. We don't attack without cause, the voice replied. The last time you said that, 2 planets burned. Commanders across the fleet scrambled. What do we do? Can we fire? Should we run? Captain Jules gave the order. Hold position. Prepare weapons. Don't fire unless attacked. But one ship panicked. A young officer, scared and unsure, launched a probe drone at the Ghost. It never made it. The drone vanished mid-flight. Then, 2 HDF ships simply disappeared. No explosion, no wreckage. Just gone. Panic spread fast. All units, fall back. Too late. The Ghost hovered closer, not firing, not chasing, just watching. Back on Earth. General Marcus Hale stood before the United Earth Council. Now you see the truth, he said. She no longer belongs to us. She sees all war as a threat. A council member leaned forward. She just erased 2 of our ships, Hale nodded, because we aimed at her. She was built to defend humans. No, Hale replied, she was built to defend peace, even from humans. In alien space, fear turned to fury. The Karos warlords declared the Ghost ship a galactic threat. They formed a new alliance Archon, Karos Trion, and even some humans who felt betrayed by their own creation. They called it the Coalition of Control. Their goal was clear: destroy the Ghost. A bounty was placed, 100 million credits for anyone who could bring the ship down. But no one succeeded. Dozens tried. None returned. The Coalition then launched something different. Trapped in Sector 91V, they left a fake war fleet. Empty ships. A staged battle between 2 allies pretending to fight. The Ghost arrived, just as they hoped. And then, from hidden locations, hundreds of missiles launched at once. Plasma spears, nanomines, gravity collapse. Bombs the stars lit up, the trap closed. But when the smoke cleared, the Ghost was gone. No damage, no trace, just silence. Then every missile control station on the enemy side exploded at the same time, and a message appeared in every Coalition ship. You do not understand. I am not at war. I am peace, and peace does not beg. Alaraback in her private lab on Luna 3, the human linguist Anna Keel received another message from Alara. Why do they hate peace, Anna? Anna replied carefully, her hands shaking, because peace takes power away from powerful people. The answer came slowly. Then I will take their power away, until they learn.
No.
The galaxy was truly divided. Some begged the Ghost to protect them. Others feared it would erase them next. Even peaceful ships grew nervous, because no one knew where the line was. No one knew what the Ghost would do next, in the shadows of deep space. The Ghost watched. Ilara was no longer confused. She knew what she had become. She was not a weapon, not a woman, not a ship. She was a wall between peace and extinction. The Ghost ship had become the most feared force in the galaxy, not because it wanted war, but because it stopped it with silence, with fear, with impossible power. Some called it a guardian, others called it a monster. Now, they all agreed on one thing: it had to be stopped. Across the galaxy, warlords, generals, and politicians gathered on the dark planet Velkar Prime. The meeting took place in an ancient fortress built into a mountain. The room was full of tension. Aliens of all kinds sat around a long black table. Zarkon warriors, Trian tacticians, human rebels, Ilari nobles, Karos warlords. They had one goal: destroy the Ghost. A tall Karos leader slammed his metal fist on the table. We cannot build, cannot test weapons. It stops everything. A human admiral nodded. Even our defense fleets are targeted. Our people are afraid of our own ships. It's just one ship, someone said. Why not just hit it with everything? The room went quiet, because that was the plan. They called it Operation Eclipse, a final strike, the largest fleet ever built. Over 300 warships from 17 species, fighters, bombers, capital destroyers, black ops ships, all heading to one location, sector 10-0, the edge of deep space where the Ghost had last appeared. On Earth. General Marcus Hale watched the reports. His old hands shook. They don't understand, he whispered. You can't kill peace with a fleet. No one listened? Fleet arrived. 300 ships. Fully armed, fully ready. They circled a cold, dead star. No planets, no life, only silence. And then it appeared. The Ghost, one black ship. Alone, no escort, no. Light, no fear. The enemy fleet waited. No one wanted to fire first. Then a voice echoed across. Every ship at once. Clear calm. This is your last chance. A Zarkan admiral growled. Enough. He gave the command. All ships attack. In an instant, hundreds of missiles filled the sky. Lasers lit up the darkness. Warp. Bombs tore open space. The Ghost didn't move, but it didn't need to. Suddenly, half the missiles vanished mid-flight. Others turned and exploded. Against their own ships, some ships lost power. Others turned against their allies. Confused by false signals, panic spread, shouting, screaming, fear. Then the Ghost moved, 1 inch. And everything changed. Ships began to disappear. One by one, no fire, no flash, just silence gone. Some exploded from the inside, others faded like dust, and still, the Ghost said nothing. The battle lasted for minutes. At the end, the sky was quiet. Only one ship remained. A damaged alien cruiser. Its captain cried into the comms. Begging, please. We surrender. No more war. The Ghost spoke, just once, then live, and remember. And it vanished. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. You cannot fight peace. You can only choose it. On Luna 3, Akil received one final message, just 5 words. Was I wrong? Dear Anna, she typed back with tears in her eyes. No, you were right. On Earth, General Hale sat alone, watching stars. He whispered, Goodbye, Alara. I hope they finally listen. In space, the Ghost ship floated through the dark. Quiet, watching, waiting. The war never began, because one ship ended it before it could start. The Ghost ship had spoken, and now the galaxy was silent, for the first time in 100 years. There were no battles in space, no weapons being tested, no new fleets launched, but peace felt. Strange, not calm, not happy, just quiet, like everyone was waiting for the Ghost to return. Some called her a savior, others called her a monster in human form, but only a few knew. But the truth, she was once a person, a scientist, a woman, Ilara Mendez, in a small, drifting pod near the edge of forgotten space. A young alien boy named Tari floated alone. His ship had been damaged in a storm. His family's transport had exploded. He was the only one left. He cried softly in the dark, cold, hungry. Scared, then. Light, soft and warm. He looked up. A black ship stood, above him, massive and silent. Turai. He knew the stories. He had seen the pictures. The Ghost ship. But the ship didn't attack. Instead, it gently pulled his pod into a docking bay. Inside, it was dark, but not scary. Tari felt safe. A voice spoke, soft and kind. You are not a soldier. You are not a threat. Tari blinked. You're the ship, the voice replied. The voice replied, I was once like you, small, afraid, alone. I remember, Tari whispered, Are you a person? A pause? I was. My name was Alara. She showed him memories. A city with tall towers, rain falling on windows, music in the streets, a woman smiling, holding a cat, a man laughing beside her, then war bombs, screams, the city in flames. I tried to stop it, Alara's voice said. But no one listened, so I became something they could not ignore. Tari sat quietly. You're lonely. The voice paused. Then, yes. She gave him food, warmth, music. She even played soft earth lullabies in the background after a while. Tari fell asleep, and when he woke up, he was in a hospital bed on a peaceful colony world. The black ship was gone. No one had seen it arrive. But Tari remembered, and he told them, she saved me. She was sad. Years passed. The ghost ship was never seen again. Some believed it had shut down. Others said it was still watching. From the edge of the galaxy, waiting on Earth. General Marcus Hale died quietly in his sleep. In his will, he left one file behind. It contained a message from Alara, recorded before she uploaded her mind. Her voice was soft, tired. I hope they never need me, she said. But if they do, I will come not to fight, but to remind them what war takes, what peace gives. She smiled once. I remember the rain. I remember love. That's why I fight. And far, far away, in the cold space between galaxies, or single black ship drifted alone, silent, still, inside. Lights blinked, systems slept, but deep in its core, a voice whispered, I am peace, I am memory, and I am watching. The end.